Mermother. She's alright. One of the seals for Slurpant, and kind of a nightmare to get in 3 unless you're a legend coin user. I'm not a legend coin user, so I had to go through the Ambrosia Pavilion grind for her. It is not enjoyable. Use legend coins only for medallion completion, but use legend coins. They're so worth it and make you collect Mermother and Digappa much less of a headache, if you're lucky. But is Mermother any good? Let's find out. Mermother doesn't really have any standout unique qualities. She has great spirit and pretty good bulk, along with usable speed. She's got the basic 6-tile magic use ultimate and waterfall. This girl is the most basic S-rank dump cap abuser in the game, and she does a fair good job with it. Saying Mermother is good with dump cap is like saying a tank is good with shielding soul. It's a really obvious statement that I don't need to point out to you, because if you know anything about competitive, you already know magic attackers do well with dump cap. The problem with Mermother is that this is all she does. Just a dump cap user with good water damage. Her skill really sucks as well. Supernatural Soul Educator and Sunken Soul just go right through it, and they're pretty common. Shady Unity doesn't really do anything against it though, so you can make use of it somewhat with that. A Slippery Unity is usually good enough to counteract Inspire so they don't have their accuracy boosted, and since Mermother is slippery you can put that together pretty easily. So if a yokai gets an unlucky Inspire, it'll basically just count as a miss. There's another issue I dealt with Mermother and a good few other recolors. She basically just invalidates Mermadonna as a yokai. The only difference between them is Mermother has better stats and a different in spirit. There is no need for Mermadonna to exist at the same time as Mermother, because Mermother is strictly better in almost every way. Aside from her strength stat, but nobody's going to run physical Mermadonna. This is one of the cases where a Smogon style tiering system would be good, as to have Mermother in a tier above Mermadonna so there's no overlap. As it sounds right now though, Mermadonna just doesn't do anything. This isn't even the only case of this, not even close. Eterna is just a better Everfor, Nocturne is just a better Eraser, Lead Balloon is just a better Blockade, etc, etc. A lot of recolors do have qualities or different stat spreads that set them apart, but there are examples like this that really just feel lazy. Mermother is not an interesting yokai to talk about, she's just a basic dump cap abuser. The fundamental issues presented in the way she was designed are more interesting, and this can apply to other families as well. Still, what do you think of Mermother? Let me know in the comments and have a good day.